ask him to get off. Oh, we're live. Hello, this is Waylon Lewis, and I'm here with Suzanne Spiegel. Yeah, we go way back, but we kind of cross, our ships cross. And what do you do with half of your time?
Half of my time, for the past 3 years, I've been trying to keep fracking.
Look at me.
Okay, I've never done a Facebook
So
Live
we'll answer comments, and then we'll look at the comments.
Okay.
And we'll talk to people, but for the rest, we can just talk.
Got it. So, for 3 years, I've been trying to keep fracking out of communities in Colorado.
All right, dumb question for everyone out there, so we're on the same page. Why are we opposed to fracking when 90% of us want natural gas in our ovens?
Because we can be moving to alternative energies, we just need the political will to switch. So there is a capacity to do it. We have the technology is there. Other countries are advancing at much quicker rates than us. We can make this transition. We just need
transition from oil and gas and fracking to
actual renewable energy, like solar and wind and geothermal.
And it's actually getting cheaper now. Solar and wind are sometimes cheaper, right, than the old fossil fuels.
They are, yeah. That's why in third world countries they're using solar rather than natural gas. They're just skipping.
So I titled this the scariest thing in Colorado. What is this thing that you're working night and day with a bunch of people to fight? So
there's a measure called it's Amendment 71. It's on the ballot in Colorado right now.
And why should anyone not in Colorado care about this?
It's basically trying to remove Coloradans' ability to pass citizen ballot initiatives. Our only form of direct democracy that still exists. The only way that we can, take a citizen's idea and put it into law. They're basically trying to make it exorbitantly expensive so that we can't do it.
So, and why is that relevant to the rest of the country?
Well, so Colorado is kind of like a testing ground for the oil and gas industry. So we're one of the epicenters of oil and gas development. So they try out all of their propaganda and all of their stuff on us. And then if it works, they outsource it to the rest of the country.
So basically, if everyone out there, wherever you are, one of the things we love to focus on and we don't do enough is mindful activism, people who care about their communities. If we want to have the right to directly influence our state government and local government, we can do so through ballots, right?
Right. So right now, the way that a ballot initiative works is that if citizens want to change a law, so for example, the way that we passed medical marijuana in Colorado was through a citizens ballot initiative. You go out, you get a bunch of signatures, over about 98,000 signatures to get on the ballot, which is a huge task already. And then you have to get the majority of the state who votes to vote to pass that ballot. And
it's already really hard, is what you're saying.
It's so hard.
So I can't casually be like, I think everyone needs to get free tin hats so that we can protect ourselves from some insane government conspiracy. I can't come up with some stupid idea and get it on the ballot.
No, I mean, we just tried to do it and we didn't get on.
For
and
fracking,
we worked our butts off, yeah. And so it's an enormous
So how many signatures
effort.
did you get?
We got 107 on one and 108 on another, 1,000 signatures.
That seems like enough, right?
Well, it is enough, but when they invalidate your signature as like, oh, that person wrote their address wrong, that person's not registered there anymore, they throw away a bunch. And so our invalidation rate knocked us out, basically. Yeah. And that's not to mention that as we were going out collecting, oil and gas had spent over $10 million to fight us. So they made a campaign like Decline to Sign, and they sent people out to harass all of us that were collecting signatures. So there was a huge campaign to stop us. So it's a huge challenge right now for a grassroots, underfunded movement, which is how grassroots are, to get on the ballot as it is. 71 would basically make it about $6 million.
Is it ballot 71?
It's Amendment 71.
Amendment 71.
Yeah.
So it would make it what?
It would make it like $5 to $6 million to get onto. It would just make it exorbitantly expensive. So there's two parts of what it does.
So you care about the people. The people in the U.S. democracy should be able to create a ballot. So if you care about the people, then this is a bad idea. If you care just about the top 1%, then this is a great
Right,
idea.
because the 1% will be able to continue to introduce
Here's
things.
your $7 million. I'd like to have a ballot that I get a bigger backyard or whatever.
Right, so they can pay people to collect their signatures. They can pay for ads. Most of us can't afford to do that.
So if anyone here is passionate about fracking or passionate about citizens' rights or activism in a way that increases the peace or is good for the environment, please give this video a like or a share if you know someone in Colorado, or a comment. And if there's a comment or a question, Suzanne will answer it. And I'm here not as a supporter of amendment, of defeating Amendment 71, right? Mm-hmm. We support defeating it.
We want a no on ballot 71.
No. So I am going to vote no personally, but I'm also here as a journalist just to ask any critical questions. So if any of you love oil and gas and you want to ask a critical question, we'll answer that too. So we'll jump into those in a second. But I just want people out there, this is about you. This is not about us sitting in the back of Elephant office. So please give it a like, give it a comment, give it a question. And if you know anyone in Colorado, please share it. So how is the fact that you just told me fracking is about to come to Boulder for the first time ever? We've had temporary moratoriums, which is all we could do, right, to kind of put it off.
Right.
And the temporary moratorium, the latest one, just expired, right? Is that right?
It's expiring on November 18th.
So fracking can finally come to Boulder. They can frack Boulder.
Well, our commissioners right now have to make a decision if they're gonna try to reenact it.
Right.
It's tricky though because they don't feel like they have the legal right.
Because of Hickenlooper, who's our governor, who overruled Longmont, which is right by Boulder, said we're banning fracking. The citizens voted, and then Hickenlooper, the governor, said you don't have the right to do that and overruled them, kind of.
So Hickenlooper and the oil and gas industry sued them, and then the Supreme Court ruled that we don't have the right.
Right. So Hickenlooper, who is everyone's favorite Democrat because he's all sweet and funny, and he is in a shower in one of his ads, and he's a funny guy. I've interviewed him. He, in one fell swoop, lost the support of all progressives and has no chance to be president ever. Sorry, Hick, you corrupt disappointment. And so he overruled the citizens' will. Citizens aren't always right. So is there a legitimate criticism of ballots? Like, have there been ballots that kind of have bad ideas, like Tabor? Wasn't that a ballot?
Well, so some people are concerned because if we make it harder to pass ballot issues when we have things like Tabor, it will be harder to reverse Tabor now. So now that we have some screwed up parts of our...
So let's explain what Tabor is. Do you want to explain?
Go ahead.
Okay, so Tabor is this, was it an amendment, a ballot?
Yeah.
It was, this thing passed like 20 years ago or something now, a long time ago now, that basically limited, what was it? It was like limiting the money that we would put into education or something like that. So basically we went from one of the best in the country to one of the worst. And no matter how well...
taxes on...
Yeah, she knows far more. But we went from one of the best states education-wise to one of the... Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. We're having Wi-Fi difficulties. So I'm going to jump in and see if we have some comments. So, Candace, New York outlawed fracking. This in turn increased fracking in my state of Pennsylvania. Yeah, so I mean, really we need some federal ruling here so that it doesn't just, just move around state by state, right? Candace, big like to you. Georgia, you're from Colorado. Awesome. Andrea, yeah, sounds like we're going to be getting fracking in Boulder, unless Elise and...
So for those of you that live in Boulder, there are two things that you can do right now to try to keep fracking
So Monica, Andrea, anyone else in Boulder, and if you know someone in Boulder, please like this and share it to them.
Yeah, so the two things that you can do right now, they're taking citizen comments, oil gas comment at bouldercounty.org. So oil gas comment at bouldercounty.org. Send your comments to the commissioners. They're figuring out what they're going to do right now. And then also there's a public hearing that the public is invited to come to on Tuesday, November 15th at 12 p.m. And they're taking public comment. So you get to talk about, what you think of this decision and basically urge commissioners to not allow fracking to come here and also to have really strong regulations in place that are going to make it basically exorbitantly expensive by holding this industry accountable.
So Nicole, if any Elephant staff or anyone watching wants to put oil gas comment at bouldercounty.org in the comments, that'll make that easier. And then they could also put the date. What was that? November
15th at 12 p.m. at the county courthouse.
Awesome. So, and also let's just give a little love to Suzanne. And how many people do you work with? How many people are volunteering their time on this?
Countless. We had 600 volunteers
Wow.
in Colorado working on the ballot initiative.
Huh?
Yeah, it was pretty.
So let's give some love. Give a like or love or a silly face emoticon. It helps it get out through the Facebook algorithm. If you appreciate the work these people are doing selflessly for the community, for their community, our community.
So I want to explain 2 quick things about 71 because it's really important.
Please.
So ballot 71 right now, 75% of it is funded by the oil and gas industry. So most of the funding is coming from just special interest oil and gas, big ag, big pharma. And the reason that they're pushing this is because they basically want to destroy our ability for democracy. So there's 2 parts of how they're doing it in Colorado. One is that they're making it so that we need to get 2% of all 35 districts in Colorado. We have to go and collect 2% signatures in communities that are out in the middle of nowhere. If you've ever collected signatures, this makes it almost impossible because it means that you have to have a presence in a town that has 100 people.
Right.
And
so it's not that the middle
expensive.
of nowhere doesn't matter, but it means it's basically a way of gaming the system so that you just can't. You'd have to go to every little hamlet and every town. If any of you live in Vermont or someplace with millions of little towns, you know it's basically impossible.
It makes it basically impossible. Then if you get on the ballot, you get 2%. All of those districts have the ability to challenge you legally and say, actually, you didn't get 2%. Even if you did, they can just place that challenge. And that could create a legal delay so that you actually don't even make it onto the ballot that cycle. And then after that, you need 55% of the vote, which is an enormous number. It just makes getting out the vote so much more expensive for the grassroots. So basically, this is a measure that is designed to stack everything against citizens for making changes so that the only people that can make changes are among the 1% corporations that have the money.
So, thank you for explaining that. So, and Bernie Sanders is here in Boulder today, right?
He is.
I don't know if any of you have heard of Bernie Sanders. He's a modest young man from Vermont. But what is he here about?
He's actually here to talk about the healthcare bill in Colorado.
Which is another great thing, another reason to show up.
A great thing, but here's what's really interesting about 71 and the healthcare bill. So this right now has to do with fracking, but in the future it has to do with healthcare bill, it has to do with any progressive issue, because if they don't make it onto the ballot this year, it will make it that much harder for them to get on the ballot next year.
Right.
Because right now they're down. Right now, that ballot initiative does not have majority support. So if they have to run it again, 71 will make it much more difficult for them. That's why Big Pharma is supporting it.
So basically, long story short, 71 is closing the door on citizens having a voice in Colorado. And if it succeeds here, it'll come to your state. That's basically what you're saying.
So the oil and gas industry is a multinational corporation, and anything that they do that they find that increases their power, they'll export it. So
I can't wait till we have like big solar and big wind, and they're like, we want more national parks and we want more domestic jobs that are clean and sustainable, and and they're kind of corrupt. They're like fighting, we want a higher minimum wage, So
I'm looking
let's get
forward
there.
to that.
Yeah. So anything else to talk about? Basically, you know what to do. Share this to Colorado. Any friends in Colorado, give this a like or a funny face emoticon. That'll help it get through the Facebook algorithm.
Yep. And if you live in Colorado, vote no on Amendment 71.
Yeah. And if you live anywhere, please join me in thanking Suzanne and all the people who are volunteering to. This is democracy right here. Democracy is not Netflixing and chilling, although that can be fun. Democracy is like at the end of a long day of work, you're like, I'm going to go out and volunteer and, you know, get people to sign something and get yelled at by people who think I'm a crazy hippie or something.
Well, it's heartbreaking to see what's happening in communities around us. And I think that's why we have so many volunteers right now. Like some people on here are from Pennsylvania, like people that live in our county, in the county next to us. Their kids are growing up next to intense industry, and they're breathing in toxic air, and it's not a joke. They're getting sick, and mothers are like completely helpless, and so it's the reality of it. And
yeah, I've interviewed maybe through you guys a couple big anti-fracking stars, and we've done a ton of articles on it. One video I was doing, which was it was for our staff retreat at Shamal Mountain Center. It was meant to be this kind of fun little video, and we showed the road trip, like driving up through Fort Collins, and you pass so many fracking sites. And I grew up here and just seeing the land, and they cordon them off so you can't even really see what's happening.
Yeah, they put walls up now to try and prevent you from seeing. But if you look out over our horizon now, the air that used to be this clear, pristine looking air, all you see is this brown cloud that hovers over the Front Range now.
So if there's an elephant editor on, we have an article on this, what Suzanne is talking about today is, I think, been under Today Only, but if you could share it in the comments, people want to read and share that. All right. It looks like you're just summing everything up. Edna Kate, you're being super helpful. Is that a friend of yours?
No.
Super helpful person. Thank you, Edna Kate. Sheila, thank you. Candace. Yeah, Citizens United, that's just the least of it. Patty. Brianna Bernie who, yeah, exactly.
So this is something really interesting that Susie commented on.
Yeah.
So Susie said, I thought fracking wasn't very cost effective when oil prices aren't high. That's definitely true. But what's interesting is that this industry runs on debt. So they have to keep building their assets in order to justify their debt, right? It's like taking out another credit card in order to pay your interest. Yeah, so they have to keep building their assets even when they're not making any money. Yeah. So it's really crazy. This is actually it is a dying industry. Like there's articles that show that at $100 a barrel, they're just breaking even, and we're at $45 a barrel right now. Yeah. So it's not profitable. Yeah. And it is dying, but it's like their last gasps, and that's why we have to keep it out right now, because if we can just get through this last dying stage, we'll make it to renewables.
Yeah, there's this great video of David Letterman, the comedian, walking through this huge solar installation for energy, and he's like, this is amazing. Like all the air is clean, but the energy is happening right here, and he's like being a dork and like laying on the panels and being weird, but that's really what it's like. And then when you look at fossil fuels, fracking comes from the word fracturing or something, right? It's it's so hard to do. You have to dig way down in the earth. You have to fracture all the rock, and then you have to pump good clean water into it in a state that's going through a drought, mess up all the water, then pull out all the oil, right? Or the gas, sorry. And then half of it leaks in the journey between the well and my house or whatever.
Yeah, over time, every single frac pad, every single one has shown to leak, and we've had over a spill a day in Colorado with fracking. So
and it contributes to small earthquakes. That's scientifically proven, not some Boulder theory from a harebrained.
Oh no, in Oklahoma, there's thousands of earthquakes now.
Yeah.
All the folks there accept the earthquake thing.
It's not a partisan issue. It's the people in Oklahoma who it's happening to, suddenly Republicans care, Democrats care. I think this backward is better. Hey, sorry, cut out for a sec. It's not just a partisan issue. It's a human health issue. Anyone who has children. Brock from Parker City, hey. So please do share it to anyone in Colorado. And Monica will research more. You can read that article. Hopefully someone on Relephant can put it in there. Yeah, there it is. Awesome. Thank you. So, and then was there anything else you wanted to talk about? We don't have to cut it off. It's Facebook Live. So. We felt tremors here in Arkansas from Jacob Scott. I'm glad to be living in a progressive state of Oregon. Keep spreading awareness so we all win back our planet's health from Terry. Thank you. Anything else you want to cover?
I think right now, I really want to focus on this, so I would just say one last time.
No, anything else about this is great too.
Okay, well, I think something that's interesting is that, anybody who's in the realm of fighting this across the country is that we see that this industry will really do anything to win. Like, literally anything. It's been kind of disheartening being in this battle because the oil and gas industry, like, they stoop to the lowest levels that I've ever seen.
Like, what's an example?
So, like, for example, when we were out collecting signatures to try and get on the ballot, they were literally harassing old people volunteers, like 82-year-old man, like chasing him around and calling him crazy. And like they had like a group of 4 men harassing a young woman and scaring her. So there's just no integrity in this industry. And so they don't do, it's sad because I think the people that are in that industry are not all bad people. I think a lot of them just want to make a living, but the entire industry, its entire drive is profit. And so there is no moral compass and there is no integrity. And so that's why it's so important that we don't allow these laws to confuse us. Because once they get into your community, there's no regulation. In Colorado, this is an unregulated industry. So they're regulated by the Colorado Oil and Gas Conservation Commission, who's also the same group that's charged with promoting the industry.
Right.
And Colorado's known for dropping fines and dropping punishments. So once they get in, it's kind of over for a community. At that point, there's nothing you can do. It's
like having a hate speech committee that's in charge of like regulating hate speech and bullying being run by like skinheads and neo-Nazis. It makes no sense. Not comparing you to neo-Nazis, but you're kind of being jerks, folks. The fossil fuel folks. No, I've run into that too with municipalization, which I've been involved in for a long time. And it's so cynical. The citizens can vote again and again, despite millions of dollars in opposition. And then they just come back with, another thing.
Yeah.
All right, Karen is voting no on 71. Thank you. Edna, Kate, you rock. You guys should check out Democracy at Work. Any other comments or questions? This video is getting kind of huge, so maybe we should just restate the entire thing.
So let me give you
in a new, funny way. We'll do it while dancing.
You dance.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Go for it. Candace shared with my music friends in Colorado. So here's what you can do. Vote no on 71 if you care about a citizen's right to be involved in their own democracy.
Right.
If you're not in Colorado, share it to someone who does live in Colorado because this is coming soon to a state near you. And then you're effed and your state is effed. And what else? You can like or love this and funny emoticon or a comment to help this get through the Facebook algorithm.
Yep.
Sorry, what else?
And just share it with your friends and learn more about this because it's outrageous. Waylon, you're kind of out of view. You should step back.
It's okay. I was just gonna dance while you talked about it.
But let me just sum it up real quick because we have more people watching and it is so important to understand this because this model can go, it can spread throughout the entire country if we let it happen in Colorado. So ballot amendment 71, it does 2 things. Overall, it makes it harder for citizens to pass ballot initiatives in their own state, specifically grassroots movements. So any community that's trying to push something up that doesn't have tens of millions of dollars, Amendment 71 targets those movements and tries to make it impossible for them to make change to their constitution.
So only big business or rich folks could create ballots in the future, practically speaking.
So if we let ballot 71 pass, the estimates are that it will cost $5 to $6 million to pass a ballot initiative. And I don't know about you,
right?
But I don't have that kind of money.
Yeah, I only got 3 or 4 million to spare. Because I've been, I bought those 10 Teslas, for the different days of the week. And then just a couple extra.
Right, and I mean, the industry, they can drop that kind of money. So that's why right now, the oil and gas industry has spent over $3 million on Amendment 71. So if you follow the money, it's really coming from oil and gas almost entirely, also from big ag, big pharma. And what they're trying to do is make it so that we can't participate in our own democracy, because the thing is that over and over again, when we vote on fracking, we vote no. 5 communities in Colorado have already banned or put a moratorium on it, and they just keep trying to overturn it, and we just keep pushing it up. And so we've pushed it up to the state level, and they are trying to keep us out of that process because they know we'll win.
What I love that you said is like, this is the dying gasp of an industry that's no longer cost competitive, and that families from both Republican and Democrat side of the aisle don't support. Like, anyone who cares about their land or their health or their children's health doesn't support it.
No.
So all we have to do is keep pushing back and, you know, share it with your friends in Colorado.
They're terrified of us. This industry, they spent over $10 million fighting our ballot initiative this year.
It's quite a compliment, really.
And they're a delicate industry. They like to appear to be this powerful industry, but they're incredibly delicate. And by pushing this movement up, we're affecting them. Their stock dropped $1 billion on the day that we introduced our ballot initiative.
And that's why they're happy to throw $10 million down, right?
That's right.
Chump change for them.
So we just need Coloradans to vote no on 71, and anyone who's not in Colorado, just to be aware of this, because if they pass it, it will likely come to a state near you.
So everyone give Karen a like if you feel like supporting those who are voting no on 71. Thank you, Karen. Kanda shared with her music friends in Colorado. Namaste. Back to you. Thank you. Yeah, so any of you who have friends in Colorado, please share it. Haley, watching from Tennessee. Y'all are awesome. Thank you, Haley. You're awesome. Thank you for supporting. And any of you know anyone in Colorado? Edna Kate, how can friends and family help y'all who want to volunteer in Boulder? Great question, Suzanne.
So in Boulder, just check out our website, frackfreecolorado.com, and sign up for our email list. And people can email me directly at suzanne@frackfreecolorado.com. Will somebody share that in the comments?
Yeah, so Suzanne at what?
frackfreecolorado.com. If anybody wants to get involved in Boulder, you can email me, and I'll give you specifics of how you can help us keep it out of our amazing community.
And we want to be clear, that's different than the site freefracking.com, where you can sign up to get a free fracking in your backyard. It's different. It's always confused. All right, dumb jokes make the video go by. All right, is it available in India? What is available in India? Is corruption and fossil fuel industry is available in India, I'm sure. But yeah, thank you for tuning in. I mean, basically, this is a worldwide issue, in that, citizens who want to be active and create a great government and a great society are almost always going to run into opposition from entrenched money interests.
And I just want to tell you all one thing about how they're promoting this, because this is how the special interests have packaged it. They're masters of deceit, so they're really good at convincing us that things are good for us that are really horrible for our communities. So the way that they're packaging it is that they're saying that it's equal representation across the state, but these guys don't care about representation. They're trying to destroy representation. They're packaging it as a way for communities across the state to have a voice, but in fact, their initiative, when they introduced it, they didn't even get the type of representation to get on the ballot.
Right.
So they didn't even meet their own standards, because even a really moneyed industry, it's still a challenging
So how
task.
are they polling? Do you know?
So right now, yeah, that's a good question. Right now, they're slightly ahead.
Really?
Yeah, they're slightly ahead.
Wow.
Well, that's why I'm saying they are masters of deceit.
So people are like, yeah, let's get rid of our own right to
who can pay
put
for
up
the
ballots.
ads? Who owns the airwaves? That's why social media, and that's why talking to each other about this is so important. It's how grassroots gets our messages out. So they're ahead right now in the polling. But here's the thing, is that we can still win because
Wait, okay, we're back. Sorry.
because about last time I saw a poll, 33% of Coloradans were undecided, so more than enough to swing the vote. There's tons of people that just don't know what it is, and so right now, what our job is as citizens of Colorado is to get informed and to inform our friends. Like, this is not what they say it is. This is not creating equal representation.
Sure.
This is for the 1%.
Well, of course. I mean, they're not putting $10 million or whatever into a bill saying we're just bored here in the fossil fuel industry, and we just want ballots to be more representative of all communities. That's why we're going to, selflessly put in all this money.
All you have to do is follow the money.
There's just like, how can we pitch this so that most people will say, this sounds good, ding.
Yeah.
So what is the polling? Like, how far are we down?
The last poll that I saw, I think we were at least 10 points down.
Wow, so a lot.
But the thing is that normally it swings the other way. Like, normally it's easier to pass a no on something than a yes on something.
Right.
Because people don't understand something, they'll tend to vote no, if that makes sense. They don't want to make a change they don't understand. So we very much can win this.
That's how I am in my dating life. If I'm a little bit here or there, I just say no. It's not really funny, but jokes make the video go. So continue, yeah.
So basically, we need to swing that percentage of people who are saying, I'm not really sure what this is. We just need to get educated. Like, once people understand this, I've also heard that the Koch brothers are even behind this. I mean, the moment you know who's behind this, it's like, ick. We don't want that in our Constitution.
That surprised me, because the Koch brothers seem to be really all about citizens' rights and kind of just wanting a better society for all. They seem so selfless and kind.
Right.
The good old Koch brothers. They're so sweet in their old age to so selflessly devote themselves to America. Linda, if you doubt the power of the oil industry, watch what's happening in North Dakota in the pipeline there. Yeah, we've been covering that a lot. Linda or Suzanne, anyone want to say more about what's going on with DAPL or North Dakota? Or Amy Goodman just got arrested, right? It's insane.
Yeah, she did. I mean, right now there's this clash happening between people across the world in this industry. It's so interesting because as we fight these battles locally, we start to feel like we're alone, but these battles are happening across the world. And what's going to happen, I mean, it's scary to think we're in Boulder, Colorado, and they're thinking of fracking us. We're supposed to be one of the most progressive, environmentally minded communities in the world, and this is a real possibility here that we will have fracking in our open space. And so,
how could it be on public land that we paid for open space?
Because it's the oil and gas industry.
It couldn't just be private land?
They have the right to frack our open space.
Wow, that's insane.
It's insane. So
it's like prima nocte, but like the fossil fuel version. Do you know prima nocte?
No.
So in Braveheart, that's the only reason I know it. It's the right of the overlord, the corrupt king of the little fiefdom, to have sex with any woman on the night of her wedding night.
It's fucked up.
Yeah. So how could we let the fossil fuel industry have the right to drill and violate our Mother Earth that we citizens have paid for to protect?
No, it's our open space. I mean, and that's the thing is that if we let this pass through, if we don't fight it at the legal level, we have an opportunity right now to fight it in a legal way. But it gets so ugly if we don't do that. If we don't do that, then it becomes like the North Dakota situation where the only thing that we can do is put our bodies there.
And social media. So someone asked, I mean, that's how the North Dakota thing actually, despite lack of media coverage, became a national issue, is that people have been sharing this stuff up. So please don't underestimate your ability right now. Right now we have nearly 400 people in every second watching. That's going to be equivalent to 20 or 30 or 40,000 people for this video. So you have the power right now. Anytime, like me, you've sat around in a bar or at a cafe or you're home at night or surfing the Twitter or whatever, and you're like, oh, this is so messed up. I wish I could do something, but I'm too lazy. I'm speaking for myself. This is your chance to actually help. So share this to any friends in Colorado. If you're in Colorado, vote no on 71.
Yep.
Someone asked again, what is 71? People are just tuning in. Do you want to restate?
So let me give you a really brief, I'm happy to say this over and over.
Give me the dummy version for...
All right, so the brief version, ballot 71 or amendment 71 is an amendment being run by oil and gas and other special interests. It's funded by the oil and gas industry.
75%.
At 75%. So they've put in over $3 million to pass this. Why? Because they want to keep citizens out of the process of democracy. They want us to not be able to change laws, because currently the laws make it so that they can drill in our communities without us having any say. And so naturally, as citizens, we'd like to change that so that they can't frack next to our schools and our water and our homes.
Yeah.
And so they're trying to change the law so that we can no longer participate in the Citizens Ballot Initiative unless we happen to have $6 million or more dollars.
Can I restate it for even dumber people
Yes.
like myself? This is literally a ballot that right now is polling 10 points up, apparently. Like, it looks like it's going to work. Funded by the oil and gas industry they want us to vote yes and take away our own right to create ballots.
That's
it's
right.
a ballot to defeat our ability to create ballots.
It's twisted.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
It's like if they just communicated it genuinely, it would be defeated.
Right, if they were knocking on your door, they'd be like, would you like to sign this initiative so that you can never have the right to pass initiatives as a citizen?
Yeah.
And of course we would never sign it. But again, this is an industry that they study deceit and they study propaganda. And so they're good at packaging things, and that's why right now it's up in the polls.
Yeah, I mean, in Sun Tzu, in Art of War, they say, which you should study because you're dealing with these people. He says, warfare is the art of deception. Mm-hmm. And the only way to defeat deception, the power that we have, is genuine inspiration and communication through the truth. Mm. And that's shown again and again, like Obama talks about bending the arc of history a little bit. We can do it right here. Mm-hmm. We can stop them. They've won so many battles, and we've won so many battles, but they just come back like a hydra or whatever it is with the skeletons popping out. It's like whack-a-mole.
It is. It's just like that. I honestly think of that analogy all the time. It's like you cut one of their heads off and another one comes up. So what's interesting about Colorado, though, is that we have been a movement that has had tons of success. We've won against this industry time and time again. So communities have run citizen ballot initiatives, and they've passed them successfully against an industry who is spending over $1 million in their communities, like outspending them 300 to 1, and community voice is still winning.
Wow.
It's remarkable.
So that means it's like the movie 300, for another bad analogy. Did you ever see that movie? It's a bunch of like shirtless buff dudes, and there's only 300 of them, and it's about Sparta, and they're like fighting some evil army. There's 300 of them, and they're fighting like 50,000.
It's David versus Goliath.
Yeah, exactly.
Completely.
There you go.
It's totally.
That's a better analogy. All right. So Sheila, how can those of us out of state help aside from spreading the word with this video? I mean, honestly, just sharing this video to your friends in Colorado, or anyone, honestly, of your friends, and telling them to share it with their friends in Colorado would be huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, our sound and stuff is cutting out once in a while. It's Comcast. We pay for a super extra turbocharge, and it's still whatever. Frackfreecolorado.com or .org?
.com.
Okay, great. Edna, you're a star today. Thank you. And Suzanne at frackfreecolorado.com. Fracking ruined Australia from Edna. To get in touch, there's the same info from our editor. Thank you. Friends and family in Colorado will share. Was born there. Thank you so much, Lynette. Cool name. Edna, thank you for tackling this for us and explaining this. Y'all are obviously very well informed and know your stuff. She knows everything. I just work here. Is there a video with y'all explaining the importance of 71 to share when not live? You can share this video. It'll be recorded and we'll put it on YouTube. But is there some other simple video that folks can share? I would just share this.
I know
Look at
there's something
Suzanne.
in the works, but...
Yeah, just share this. She's such a good person. Share her up. Christine, if they spent as much time and money into looking for alternatives to fossil fuels, we would be far further ahead as a species. Amen. Thank you, Christine. Sheila, let's give them some loves and likes to wake up the Facebook algorithm. Yeah.
Thank you.
I like you. When are we coming to India to promote this, so that every unfamiliar Indian citizen can know about this initiative? Well, you can share this video right now, and then we're like magically there. You know Sophie, right? I'm sure.
Sophie, I love you.
Sophie Miller, I love her too. Sophie. Yeah, this is worldwide, nationwide. Same problem. Yeah, Mel was also saying same thing in Australia. It is worldwide, as Debeep was saying. Linda, it's a nightmare. The pipeline was supposed to go under the water supply of a large city, but their mayor screamed and hollered, so they redirected run under the groundwater of the Sioux Nation. They are arresting people for gathering on public land. Yeah, we have some articles on this. You can share that up. Tons of comments. It's super inspiring. Thanks, guys. Yeah, as Edna said, it takes the people's ability to make ballots for any issues we care about in the future. We're literally being asked by the oil and gas industry to vote against our ability to vote.
That's right.
Christina, I'm going to share this video. This is insane. What they're doing. It's like the Trojan horse. Yep.
Exactly.
Tons of comments. What's up, Adam? How you doing? If you have any questions, let us know. Oh, Sharon, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Let's use all the oil we can while we develop other green energy. Jason, that's a great point. But basically right now, as America has proven again and again, when we invest in innovation, and we already have it, solar and wind, it's free. And here's the cool thing about solar and wind, is almost always domestic jobs that we're creating, and they're clean and they're green for our families, and we care about that. And the oil will always be there if we want to get it later and mess up our planet. Arash, sorry I'm late. What's the topic? The scariest thing in Colorado. Yeah, the scariest thing in Colorado right now, Arash, is Amendment 71, and we need to vote no.
Oh, no.
You're a bad amendment. You need to say bad amendment, go home. And yeah, if you watch any of this video, you'll learn about it. Adam, awesome. Thanks, man. And there's one of our blogs on the, I call it DAPL. I don't know. Does other people call it that?
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's just me. All right. Thank you, everyone. And let's give a like and a love to Suzanne for joining us. And we're going to do one more video right after this. So if you want to stay tuned, the next one will be super short. So you have to stay tuned. But thank you so much. Any final words? You want to vote no on 71?
I'll just sum it up for anybody who's watching, just tuned in before we leave.
Yeah.
Basically, ballot 71, it's so important to know about in this election season. It's bigger than a normal issue because it actually is, it's the scope of our democracy. Yeah. It's about whether or not we will have democracy in the future.
That's a great point. It's not just one bad ballot. It's actually saying you don't get to make any ballots in the future. It's the mothership of all corruption.
Right. If we let this pass, the thing is that we lose our greatest right, which is democracy. I mean, politically, we've already lost so much to corporations, and this is like our golden egg. We have to protect it. It's the last channel that you and I have to have a direct voice. It's a beautiful thing, and not every state has it. And so Colorado and the states that still have it, we need to protect it. And right now, if this industry is successful in passing 71, it will make it exorbitantly expensive. It will make it millions of dollars to pass a ballot initiative for citizens like you and me, because the process becomes arduous. It's already really hard. I've been involved in the process.
You just got defeated. You've tried and failed.
We worked
tons of support.
Our butts off, and we have tons of support in Colorado. We polled to show that we would pass if we won, which is why they worked so hard against us. But if they pass this ballot initiative, guys, if we allow the oil and gas industry to pass 71, we are essentially giving away our democracy and our right to access our citizens' ballot initiative. So right now, I think it's the most essential issue is to vote no on 71, because it is our channel to creating change for any community issue in the future.
Yeah, so you can, create a little mnemonic in your mind, 71, whatever 71 means to you. 71 is like you're 71 years old. Just think about 71, tell everyone to vote no for it. I can't think of anything about 71. Thanks to Suzanne, from Sheila, from Carla, everyone here, if you want to thank her, give her some love for volunteering her time.
I thought of a stupid way of remembering it.
Yeah, I need that.
Okay. The stupid way to remember vote no on 71 is that 7 is normally a lucky number, but this is the one time it's not.
Ooh, I like that. 7 is lucky, but this is the one time it's not. So vote no on 71. It's always backward. All right, when's the vote? Election day? That's a good question.
Yeah, November 8th.
November 8th.
Most of you will probably be doing a mail-in ballot. Or some of you.
Yeah, Jason, that's actually not true. So there's tons of solar companies in Boulder alone and all over the U.S. that are doing super well. You may be listening to some biased news. So it's good to, I'm not even being liberal here. I also encourage people not to read liberal news. I hate liberal blogs. I hate conservative blogs. They're way too biased. Just read journalism. And good journalism, like say Jon Stewart, who actually was a comedian, will criticize anyone and everyone. This is anti-corruption.
Yeah.
This isn't just a liberal issue.
And Haley wants to know, why would this affect other states in the future?
Because they'll be coming for you.
Because this is an industry that once they do something and it works in promoting their power, they do it again. So if you're in a state where you have the right to ballot initiatives, it's very likely that they would try and pass something similar that would make it harder to access.
But here's the good news. If it gets rejected in the state, then they'll also learn from that, and they'll say, we're not going to try this elsewhere because it got defeated.
Right. If we can show that communities won't accept this.
Right.
Yeah.
Alrighty, folks, thank you to Suzanne. Let's end with a little Buddhist bow of mutual respect. If you want to join in, just take a good posture, take a nice deep breath, yoga style, and with respect and love, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Alrighty, stay tuned if you want to see Suzanne and me in a 3-minute video right now. One final question. So if Colorado doesn't vote no, then they will basically abuse their power and move to other states. Yeah, if we don't vote no, if we allow it to be a yes, then they'll learn from this and they'll invest tens of millions of dollars in
to do the same in other
putting
states.
up similar ballots or amendments in other states.
Correct.
Okay, all right. I just look at her and she nods if I'm right and hits me if I'm wrong. All right, thank you so much, guys.